Hi everyone, and welcome to And So On. My name is Lisa, and today it is knitting edition. Okay, so I am back for a little knitting. Today I'm recording on my iPad because my camera doesn't have any juice. So you'll have to let me know if you notice a difference. I'm interested to see if it makes a difference in your experience. So please do let me know below if you notice a difference between my camera and the iPad. All right, so I have been a busy bee, and I have I have one finished item, one half finished item, and then a bunch of whips to show you. So my finished item is the Yeta socks by Lainey Hoimala from the book Urban Knit. And yes, there are two of them. There they are. Beautiful cabled socks, and these are in Regia Premium Merino Yak. And I really like this yarn a lot. Notice that this is actually thicker yarn. I would say this is like definitely heavy fingering or closer to sport, and I use it in a sweater in lieu of sport weight coming up. So definitely a little bit thicker, but I love these cables. The cables are so nice. They are snug. So one of my goals for fall, you guys, and I think I've said this before, so maybe I need to make it a stronger goal, is well-fitting socks. And you'll see in my half-finished object, I am working on it. But because of my gauge, because of how I knit, because I have made lots of socks, and I love socks, and they're beautiful socks, and I wear them all the time, all of them. But I can up my sock game. I can. And to that end, I've actually joined the Patreon of Stephanie Pearl McPhee, who is actually Toronto knitting teacher, knitting guru. I actually did not know that she was from Toronto until I watched 3 or 4 of her Patreon videos, and then she mentioned Toronto, and I was like, oh, I knew she was in Ontario, but I just didn't realize she was in Toronto. And I found her through Eric of Sticks Plus Twine, who has a really great podcast that I love to watch, and he is linked in the description below, and he has a knit along that I'm going to mention later. So definitely go over and visit Eric and see all of his fabulous makes, as well as hear more about his finish along. It's all about finishing whips, and who doesn't have a few whips that need to get off those needles? Okay, so in terms of these socks, I started them, they start from the toe, I started them on 1.75 needles. And then I realized quite quickly that was too tight, and I moved up to 2.0s. I was doing this with flicking, and it's a pretty dense fabric, but it's good. And then near the top, I got lazy and went back to continental, and you can really see the difference in the fabric. So these fit me nicely. Let me see if I can put them on, although they're gonna look so silly with my jean skirt and great big socks, but I'll just, for argument's sake. Okay, these are the socks. Yeah, I'm gonna put in a video. Please forgive that poor choice to put those on to show them to you like that. Clearly being thick cabled socks, these are not in-shoe socks. These are, lounge socks, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. It's a beautiful book. I definitely recommend it, and I love doing the cables. Believe it or not, the cables were actually really relaxing because they're only every 7 rows that you change over, and so I would do a cable row, and then I would rest for 7 rows and not worry about anything. And then when I hit the 7th row, I would go back and then do the next changeover. So these were actually really relaxing to make, and I think they're gonna be just as nice to wear. All right, so in the theme, let me go into a mostly finished object next on the theme of socks. So here is my first try, a sock using Stephanie Pearl McPhee's recipe, which is my goal is to get my personal recipe for socks. So for this, I'm using the OLANN yarn. Let me find the rest of it. Is in here. This is yarn from OLANN, and of course there's hair on it because I shed on everything. Who needs a dog when you got me? OLANN yarn. It's so beautiful. This is their sock Lite, and I think it's just a merino superwash. If it's not, I'll put it below. I'm pretty sure it's just a merino superwash. This is beautiful, and it knits up so beautifully. I did a contrasting toe and heel. Now, I have big feet, just so you know. In North American sizes, I'm a 9. So Don't adjust your set. This is actually the size of my feet. Let me hold them back here and they'll look more petite. So she has you do a running marker to keep track of rows, and because I need that for the second sock, I've stayed in here. She has you do the heel flap and gusset, which I did contrasting, and then she gives you like, oh, I think it's like 6 different toe options. So I did like a rounded toe that she describes as her 5-4-3-2-1 method, and I really, really like that a lot. These, again, are still too big. And I did a swatch. Where is it? Look, I did a swatch. It's a little one, but I did it. I think I just measured it wrong. I think I should have gone further and measured more. So for these, I didn't want to flick. I wanted to knit continental because I want to get a sock pattern that is a relaxing knit, and right now continental is my most relaxing way of knitting. So if I put these on again, if I put these on, do they fit? Yes, they do fit. You know what? I'm being a little hard on myself. These do fit. She had me start at 60 stitches. No, she had me start at 64. Based on my measurements and the math, and I knew it was going to be too much, and so about this far down I went nope, and I went down to 60, and then when I got over the instep I went down to 58, and then went down to the toe. These haven't been blocked. I do have hope that maybe they'll kind of tighten up a tiny bit, because that's of course what superwash wool does when you block it, is it tightens up a little bit. Anywho, I've done the first one. I haven't yet done the second one. I'm debating whether I should do the second one. Oh, and this is also on 1.75 millimeter needles. So 1.75 millimeter needles, 658 stitches by the end, and it's still too big on me. So some of you who've been watching my knitting for a long time are like, are we seriously talking about this again? Yes, we are. There's kind of a hole in my toe too. I need to, oh no, it's okay. I thought something happened with my bind off. You'll see later that I have something I have to fix because of the bind off. No, I just have to go in there and tighten it up a little bit. So, very nice. I'm going to either do the exact same thing with the same needles with 56 stitches, or maybe 60 and then go down to 56 at the heel. I have spindly little ankles. I don't know if you could tell. I'm not going to make you look at them again. But I have spindly little ankles that have twisted and sprained on many an occasion trying to haul this body all the way around. I have had, so I have spindly little ankles and I have very narrow feet, but they're also very long feet. So I feel like I'm on the right track to get my perfect sock recipe, but I'm not quite there yet. On the subject of socks, for the last time I promise, I am joining and I'm putting these and this, once I get the second one, into the follow along. So again, go see Eric. I'll put the hashtag here so that you have the hashtag and you can use the hashtag for the follow along, but all the details you need to get from him. Okay, so I'm going to do, or I am doing, the Hohilo Catelli Fall Cal, and I signed up with the Indigo Leaves socks, which I bought as one of the very first patterns I ever bought when I started discovering indie designers and sort of the Instagram culture of knitting, when I started discovering all you out there. And I decided to join her Cal a couple of years ago, but I was such a new knitter that I didn't even realize that these were DK socks, and I went to make them in Sweet Georgia tough sock yarn. So I'm going to put a picture of what they're supposed to look like first. Mira. And this is what mine looks like. So first of all, of course, they've been in the wash a bunch of times, and so the pattern has felted like crazy. The tough sock yarn has held up beautifully. I love this yarn. This is a contrast yarn that I got from the Goodwill, and I don't even remember. I just love the colors, and I had no idea what it's made of. And it actually, I mean, it's felted, but it hasn't got a hole, so I guess that's okay. Again, it's enormous. I mean, it's an oversock. I wear these a ton, so, you know, even though my sock adventures have been mixed, they get a ton of wear, and I wear them at home because I'm always cold and my feet are always cold. I wear socks to bed every single night, especially in the winter, sometimes 2 pairs. And so these are like over socks that I wear around the house, on the couch. At home, I would wear them in boots. Here, I don't have big boots. I just have, you know, kind of regular autumn boots, but I don't have Canadian boots. I mean, come on. My Sorels are packed. My Sorels are in storage, put it that way. So I'm going to do this pattern again in DK, and I think I'm going to get some DK this weekend. It is our 18th wedding anniversary coming up, and we are going to Barcelona. And we have not spent a night away from Sitges in 2 years, which, if you know how much my husband and I have traveled in our lives, to not go anywhere for 2 years is not, it's never happened in our adult lives. So this is going to be fun. Our kids are staying, well, they're our friends too, but they're our kids first. And they're staying with friends, and we're going to Barcelona for one night. We're staying in a fancy hotel, and we're going to go eat tapas and drink cava and maybe fit in a little yarn shopping. So I think I'm going to go and get myself a nice DK and make those socks for the knit along. Okay, on to whips. So if you'll remember, I have two test knits on the go. My first two sweater test knits. The first one is, I'll put in a picture first. This is the Afra sweater by Isabel Kramer, and this is coming along. It's almost done. It's very, very close. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, gorgeous. I love you. I love you. I'm super proud of this. I haven't done a sweater with this kind of all over, well, it's not all over, this detailed stitch pattern, let's say. And actually, I love the fact that it's not all over, because I get through this chunk and then I get to rest before I tackle the next round. It is not difficult. It is just a matter of being really fastidious and paying attention. And that's not always my strong suit, so I have had some foibles along the way. But overall, I don't believe there are any mistakes currently in this work. I have done a folded, what do you call this, neckband. My very first, just finished it before recording this. And you can see there's still some ends in there, but I thought that turned out pretty well. You can see there. So I think that's gonna be really nice. And I made the cuffs a little bit longer than intended, like maybe 2 centimeters. I do have long arms. I knit both the cuffs and the neckline from the inside, because I was told that that makes your ribbing neater and more snug, and I would agree with that. So I basically just did a German short row when I was about to start the cuff, and then just went back the other way and was knitting it like this, knitting it from the inside. And I'm really happy with the result. I also did a cable cast off. I'll put it here. You know, the rounded cast off, the sewn cast off. I don't remember what it's called, but I'll put it in here, and I'll link to the video that I used for it as well. I did the same thing on the side. And then the only thing I have left to do is the ribbing at the hem. So I should be able to finish that tonight, I would think, and then I'm done. In terms of needles, I knit this on my Chow Goose from Claire, the lovely Claire from Scotland, who gave me her Chow Goose because she prefers her Hayas. Thank you, Claire. So I have those, and I knit this. So this is suggested 4.0 needle. I started on a 3.5, I ended up on a 3, and I did the cuffs and the neckband on a 2.75, which leads me to my one and only acquisition. ¿Dónde están? So if you're familiar, you'll know why I'm making this face. And if you're not familiar, let me acquaint you. These are the Chow Goose shorties, and they go so nicely with my pretty Chow Goose. Again, this is another thing that I've been thinking about for a really long time, and I finally bit the bullet. And what these are, I got the small set. So this is go from 2.0s to 3.25s. These ones here are one length. What were those, 3 centimeters or something like that? Or 4 centimeters, and then these ones are 3 centimeters. 5 and 3, I don't know, but one's long and one's short. So that when you're knitting small circumferences, You have the small one to hold on to and the slightly larger one if you're going to maneuver. That's the idea. But you have two of each, so it's whatever is comfortable for you. And then it comes with the teeniest little cables you've ever seen in your life. Look how teeny these are. To give you a comparison, the regular ChiaoGoo for not the gigantic needles, but the medium-sized needles look like this. Like, it's significant. They are teeny. And it comes with the connectors. I've already managed to lose one of the connectors. The connectors are a size of a grain of rice. I'm not exaggerating, they're teeny. Comes with these cute little stitch markers that are very useful, and a couple of T-pins, and then the most adorable little needle gauge. Look how teeny that is. Look, that's my hand. That's the needle gauge. It's so teeny. Anywho, this is so worth it because I can zip through a sleeve in no time. It basically keeps me from having to use magic loop for smaller things. So I did the neckband and I did the cuffs with these ChiaoGoos that I bought from Las Tijeras Mágicas, which is the same website that I showed you last time, and they arrived in a day. So it was faster than ordering it on Amazon. On Amazon it was going to be like a week and a half, and this was faster. So that was great. Maybe a tiny bit more expensive, maybe a little bit more expensive, but I'd rather support a small business if I can, especially if I'm going to get great service and great, quick, free shipping. Okay, so the only thing now is the hem, and I'm debating on whether to do them on the 2.75s, which means moving them onto those teeny tiny cables, and because I've lost one of the connectors, it's going to be tight, or just sticking with the smallest size I have, which would be 3.0s, which is only, quarter millimeter difference, and knitting them inside out, which I think is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to add these on. I am glad that I had them for these. And of course I can use them for socks. I can use them for so many things, but I can't wait to get, I forgot to say, this is also the Schachenmayr Regia Premium Merino Yak. It's very soft. It does not pick. I do have a sensitive neck and it does not pick. So I'm going to be able to wear this. I'm not going to say I'm going to wear it like against my skin, like with nothing under it. I'll probably wear a t-shirt under it or a tank top or something like that. But yeah, isn't that cool? Don't you love that pattern? I love it. Okay, so that is almost done, which is good because this was a very quick turnaround. It was only a month, and I think I have 2 more days so to block and photograph. Yeah. Okay, I just realized I should tell you what I'm wearing, even though it's not knitwear. I think most of you are probably sewers as well. So this is my Sun blouse by PM Patterns. This is the first one I made, and this is in a beautiful viscose from, I think it's a viscose challis from Minerva. I'll link to my blog post about it so you have all the info. These are little birdies all over it, and I added the piping, the contrast piping, and this is the perfect time of year for it, kind of early fall, mid temperatures, 20, 22 degrees, that kind of thing, and not too hot, not too cool. Beautiful, beautiful pattern. All right, in this bag I have my second test knit, and this is the Clove Sweater by Rachel Kurihara, who is Rachel Knits Things, I think. And I have put quite a bit of work on this. I don't think actually I'd cast it on no, I had cast it on, but very little when last we met. So here we are. Quite far now. I joined for the sleeves a bit ago. I have this much done on the body, and I think it's 12 inches, and so I've got maybe 4.5, 5 on there, I'm guessing. So I've got a bit more to go. This I am flicking, and I am making myself do the flicking, although I have to admit, I think when I get to the sleeves, I'm going to go back to Continental. I don't need to torture myself quite that much. But yeah, really happy with this. This has a high neck. Maybe if I get bored in a little bit, I might put this on cords and do the neck, also to keep it from stretching out. But again, very soft. This is softer than this. This is the Schachenmayr. Again, I'm on a Schachenmayr kick lately. I don't know why. I think because I know it's good quality and it's pretty good price, quite good price. And it's easily accessible here. So that's probably why. This I would absolutely just wear against my skin, no problem at all. This is their Merino 120, it's called, DK weight. And again, I'm knitting it on my Chagoos. I'm knitting it on 4.0s. I can't remember if she suggested 4.0 or 4.5. I think she might have suggested 4.0, so actually maybe I should check out more of her designs because we might have a similar gauge. Yeah, so very happy with that. I've got a ton more of this, so not to worry on that front. And this is not due until the end of October, so I have some time. So my last thing that I have to show you is a mending operation. This is the Mazet sweater. I realize I have it inside out, so let me flip it. This is the Mazet sweater by Marie-Amélie Designs. I'll hold it this way. And I wore this quite a bit last year. I've worn it in videos. This is in Knit Crate, 100% alpaca. And I see another place where I need to fix it. What happened was when I went to put it away last spring, I noticed that there was a hole. Not a hole, it was starting to come unraveled. But the funny thing was, is it wasn't coming unraveled from the, let me show you on this side. It wasn't coming unraveled from the cast off edge. It was coming unraveled. How many sides are there to this sweater? Okay. It was coming unraveled here. It's like one of the knit two togethers that I did right before doing the ribbing didn't take, or somehow I missed it. And so it was unraveling from here. And so what I did was, is I picked out the cast off edge, the bind off, and I just went back, and now I've got it back on the needles here. I've got it on a cord at the moment, and I'm going to start the reduce round and just finish it up, because this is a really nice sweater. It's unbelievably soft and drapey, and I want to be able to wear it. So I'm glad I caught that before it got worse and went all the way back. It's a fairly quick fix considering, so hopefully I'll be able to get that taken care of really soon. So those are all my active knits. The only other thing I have to show you is this. This is Twinkle DK, which was a collaboration between Christy Glass and Knit Crate. And this was Knit Crate from earlier on this year. It might have been even been December last year, I can't remember. This is it says DK. When you look at it on Ravelry, it says worsted, but I think it's DK. And because they say it's DK, so it probably is. I'm gonna make a vest for Lily with this. So you know how I said I wanted to make Lily a red cardigan, and I'm just not finding the yarn. Like, it's just not coming to me. The universe is not providing for that. So this is very Lily. She has to wear white to school, and so I thought it read white enough that she might be able to get away with it. But what I did realize, and I don't think I have it handy, but no, I don't, but I have some leftover white silk mohair from Knitting for Olive from when I was doing my bright feather sweater. And I think that I can pair that, strand it with this, and make it a little more white. So yeah, I think this will work out really, really well to make, I think it'll be perfect for her to wear to school. She can throw it over t-shirts, she can throw it over a dress. She is quite an eclectic dresser and loves her fashion, and puts her outfit for the next day on a hanger and hangs it up every night. And yeah, she's super sweet. So I think she's gonna really enjoy this. Okay guys, that is all for me. I'm going to get back to this sweater because it is so close to being done, and I just need to do some one rib, and hopefully next time you guys will be able to see it when I wear it. Yay! I hope that wherever you guys are, the sun is shining and you are sewing or knitting dreaming, or sewing dreaming, all the great things that make us feel so good about our hobby. I hope that one of those things is happening for you today, because I know it is for me. All right, I will talk to you soon. Let me know in the comments below what you're knitting, what your dream knitting is. I would love to hear what you're up to. Link me up to some great patterns, because I'm going to need some new projects soon. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.